Hi, welcome to Suthichai Live English podcast. It became a big story when yesterday the manufacturer of a popular Thai herbal inhaler, Hong Thai, recalled a batch of the product after it failed health quality tests due to what the FDA says was microbial contamination. Thailand's Food and Drug Administration, FDA, said yesterday that a batch of Hong Thai Herbal's Formula 2 brand of herbal inhaler failed to meet the required standards in microbial contamination tests, especially microbial counts, combined yeasts, and mold counts, and the presence of the Clostridium South bacteria. That became a big story because Hong Thai has become very popular, not only in Thailand, but perhaps around the world, especially when some celebrities, including popular singers and Hollywood stars, started to use Thai inhaler. Now, would that be a serious barrier to Hong Thai's continued climb to the top product in herbal inhaler? That remains to be seen, because the manufacturer has quite promptly taken corrective actions, apologizing to the public and said that they will consult the FDA to make sure that future productions will be healthy, will meet all the health standards. Now, Ping and Pong are ready to tell us the detail of the story. Hi, Ping and Pong. What has happened to Hong Thai?
Okay, imagine this. A simple, really inexpensive herbal remedy, right?
Yeah.
Something developed decades ago for, the humid streets of Bangkok.
Yeah, like a local staple.
Exactly. And now, suddenly, it's this coveted global luxury accessory. People are putting glittery, bejeweled holders on it. I mean, what kind of entrepreneurial magic is that?
It's a fascinating mix, isn't it? You've got this high-low thing going on. Locally, it costs, barely $1?
Right.
But now it's being flashed by massive global stars.
Yes.
Yeah, quite the story. But it doesn't quite end there. Today, we're looking at this perfect storm, really. Huge success, but also a massive challenge.
Okay, let's dive into it. Our focus today is, the very curious case of the Hong Thai herbal inhaler. We've got sources talking about its explosive viral success, how it went from just a local necessity to being like in Hollywood pockets. Mm-hmm. But crucially, we also have these very recent reports about a serious critical recall. The Thai FDA issued it just this week.
And that's our mission today, to understand this this extreme duality. We have the context, user discussions explaining why this little green bottle is so deeply woven into daily life in Thailand.
The cultural side.
Exactly. We've got the business analysis, the staggering growth, and then we have the hard data, the essential stuff from the recent official FDA warning. It details a serious quality failure, and that really challenges its whole global expansion narrative.
Right. So for international travelers now, this Hong Thai inhaler, it's basically dethroned the usual souvenirs. It's the quintessential Thai must-buy. And this isn't just about a decent product, is it? This is a viral marketing phenomenon.
Oh, absolutely. It's described as this potent mix of herbal oils and extracts. People often compare it to, say, a Vicks inhaler maybe. But it's got this unique, really intense herbal punch. And it's sudden shift, from local essential to global trend.
That's fascinating. And it seems to boil down almost entirely to celebrity visibility.
Yeah, you have to start with Lisa from Blackpink. I mean, she seems to be the undeniable primary driver here.
She's frequently spotted with that signature green bottle. You see it in videos, interviews, at airports. She essentially took a nasal decongestant and turned it into this unexpected kind of low-key fashion accessory.
And that aesthetic shift, right, moving from just utility to accessory, that's precisely what gave it global scale, and we see it everywhere now.
Yeah. Who else?
Well, Hollywood star Chris Hemsworth has been seen using it. Global superstars like Jackson Wang have championed it too. So it proves the trend isn't just regional, it really transcends genre.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting from a business angle. The item is, like you said, dirt cheap locally. Maybe ours, $60, $70, barely $1. But the company's value was reportedly around $14 million USD back in 2022.
Yeah.
How do you translate something that cheap into that kind of global value?
Well, that's the core business insight, isn't it?
Yeah.
The volume is obviously massive, driven by tourism and that low domestic cost.
Mm-hmm.
But the real margin jump happens with international sales.
Okay.
The product maintains these incredibly cheap local supply chains, right? But when it hits international retailers pushed by all this celebrity and social media hype, the markup is significant. You're not just buying an inhaler anymore. You're buying like a piece of Thai street culture that's been validated by a pop idol.
Wow.
And the fact that tourists are buying personalized, glittery covers for them, that's proof the perception of the item has shifted towards luxury, even if the base cost is still tiny.
It's pretty incredible, especially when you think about the origins. This isn't some big multinational corporation behind it.
No, not at all. The creator is Tirapong Rabutham, known locally as Kang. And his story is classic entrepreneurial success. About 2 decades ago, in a pretty modest neighborhood near Wat Suthichai in Bangkok,
Okay.
he apparently stumbled upon an old herbal recipe in a local newspaper. He took that traditional formula, tweaked it, refined it based on user feedback, and basically built Hong Thai from the ground up. It's a perfect example of, traditional knowledge meeting this exponential modern demand.
That leads us straight to the question every tourist asks in Thailand. Why is everyone constantly using these things? They seem practically glued to people's noses, whether they're in a taxi or just walking down the street. This goes way beyond just treating a cold.
Right. And if you connect this to the bigger picture of daily life in Thailand, you see the inhaler serving multiple functions. It really speaks to the reality of living in a tropical, high-density, bustling environment.
Okay, so break it down for us. What are local users actually using it for day to day?
Or environmental defense is a big one. Big. It gives relief from what users call the all-day itchy nose, basically, from pollution and allergies.
Right, the air quality issues.
Exactly. Thailand has wrestled with air quality, especially PM 2.5. Plus, the hot, humid climate. It fosters a high prevalence of undiagnosed allergies, particularly to mold spores. So the inhaler acts like an instant potent shield, a refresher against these constant irritants. It's like a little personal air filter you carry around.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about the feeling itself? Is there a cultural reason for just constant sniffing?
Absolutely. I mean, think about how many people in Western cultures constantly sip coffee or, compulsively check their phones.
Sure.
In Thailand, using the inhaler constantly is often described as just a thing. It's a low-cost, easily accessible form of sensory stimulation, like cheap thrills, providing this pleasant, immediate sensation. Plus, it's used extensively for energy and just combating the heat. The intense heat and humidity can really lead to dizziness or fatigue. So for people working outside, it's a quick pick-me-up, right? Gives you an energy kick to clear your head and fight off that heat-induced sluggishness.
Okay, but what's the chemistry? What's in it that gives that powerful, cheap thrill? Let's deconstruct the formula a bit.
Yeah, the signature sensation comes from 4 main natural ingredients. You've got menthol that gives the immediate cooling and nasal clearing effect.
Okay.
Then there's camphor, which helps with deeper congestion relief. Eucalyptus oil provides that refreshing scent and helps open the airways. And finally, borneol. It's an organic compound commonly used in traditional Asian medicine that kind of finishes off the powerful herbal mix.
Got it. Now, we do need to touch on the cautionary side. It seems buried in some of the user discussions, right? While it seems generally safe, there might be implications to using it so continuously, so intensely.
Yes, and this is a critical point to raise. While it's culturally acceptable and mostly benign, that constant high-intensity usage can potentially weaken sinus membranes over the long term. And, more confusingly, regarding dependency. Some users report this cycle where they use the inhaler to combat, say, mild dizziness. But then when they try to stop using it regularly, the dizziness seems to return, maybe as a withdrawal symptom. It can become this sort of self-perpetuating habit where you rely on that strong sensation just to feel normal. And having that clarity on the use and the ingredients is essential, really, because it sets the stage for the serious news that contrasts so sharply with the product's glamorous image. When a product based on traditional methods gets this big, achieves this scale of international distribution, well, the margin for error just shrinks dramatically.
So what was the specific failure? What did the Thai FDA actually detail?
Okay, so on Tuesday, October 28th, 2025, Thailand's Food and Drug Administration issued a major public warning. The failure specifically involved Hong Thai Herbal's Formula 2 herbal inhalers. A specific batch failed crucial health quality tests. The reason? Excessive microbial contamination.
Wow. Excessive contamination in something you're inhaling directly into your respiratory system. I mean, that raises the stakes significantly, doesn't it?
Hugely.
What were the specific contaminants they found?
The FDA listed 3 severe issues. First, failed microbial counts overall. Second, high combined counts of yeasts and mold. And third, critically, the presence of the specific bacteria, Clostridium CP.
Okay, for the listener, maybe unpack that a bit. Why is finding Clostridium CP so problematic, especially in an inhaler?
Well, what's really telling here is the implication. Clostridium CP is this broad family of bacteria, and they're known for producing really durable spores. When you find it in an herbal product like this, it usually points to a breakdown somewhere, either in sterilization or maybe raw material hygiene.
Right.
And because this is an inhaled product, introducing bacterial spores directly into your nasal passages, or potentially even the lungs, that represents a high health risk. It's far more serious than, say, surface contamination on a cosmetic cream. It really strikes at the core of consumer safety.
So how did a company built on trust and, traditional authenticity, how did they respond when this catastrophic contamination was confirmed?
Well, to their credit, Hong Tai Herbal seems to have responded with commendable speed and transparency. They fully accepted the FDA's findings, stating it was with utmost respect.
Okay.
They immediately recalled the specific batch, that's production number 00000332, manufactured way back on December 9th, 2024. And that single batch was massive. 200,000 units.
200,000. Wow.
Yeah. And they're coordinating the physical destruction of all that recalled stock to make sure none of the contaminated product stays in circulation.
Right. That's the immediate cleanup. But what about preventing it from happening again? What corrective action did they put in place to ensure their sort of traditional methods can meet modern global health standards now?
They stated they've significantly strengthened and upgraded their entire production process. And the key technical change they announced was implementing ultraviolet UV sterilization. Exactly. That process is specifically designed to handle microbial risks like this and should help ensure future compliance with the really stringent health standards you need for global distribution.
It also underscores how serious the regulatory environment is over there. What are the potential consequences if you produce substandard herbal products in Thailand?
Yeah, the legal stakes are incredibly high. The law actually states that anyone who produces a substandard herbal product could face up to 2 years in prison, a hefty fine, or potentially both.
Wow.
And even just selling a known substandard product carries a risk up to 6 months in jail or a fine. So when you're operating at a multi-million-dollar scale like Hong Tai, this kind of failure becomes a major corporate crisis, potentially with personal liability consequences too. Hashtag tag outro. So what does this all mean for you, the listener, trying to make sense of this? We've basically charted the incredible journey of the Hong Tai inhaler. It's this stunning cultural sensation, an entrepreneurial gold rush, really born from a simple newspaper recipe.
Yep.
But that very success has now collided head-on with the harsh reality of global quality control. It's forcing this fundamental reckoning with modern manufacturing standards.
This whole story, it really gives you a shortcut to understanding that tension, doesn't it? Between authenticity and scale. We've seen a product defined by its natural local origins, now needing advanced industrial sterilization techniques like UV light just to survive its own global fame.
Which raises a really important question, I think, something you should probably keep tracking as this story continues to unfold.
And that question is, given its deep cultural roots, right, and the massive, almost religious trust instilled by celebrity endorsements from global figures like Lisa, how quickly can a company actually restore global consumer confidence once microbial contamination has been confirmed and publicly exposed like this? Even with immediate public corrective action like adding UV sterilization, that complexity of consumer trust.
Well, that's the final provocative thought we want to leave you with today.
Thank you, Ping and Pong. That's a very interesting discussion. But I'd like Ping to give us a snapshot in a capsule about what Hong Tai is facing now. Ping, let's get that snapshot so that people who are not familiar with Hong Tai at all could understand what is happening with this very popular herbal inhaler. Go ahead, Ping.
Okay, so you've definitely seen this little green bottle all over your feed, right? It's the Hong Tai Herbal Inhaler. It's blown up from just a Thai souvenir to a massive global thing. But behind all that hype, there's a side to this story you really need to hear.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally in the hands of major celebrities, influencers, everyone. But there's a pretty dark secret that's just come out. And we're talking about a serious issue that affects hundreds of thousands of these things that honestly seems so harmless.
Get this, a batch of 200,000 units has just been recalled. That's a huge number. So the big question is, what on earth went wrong? All right, let's get right into it. We're starting with the breaking news that's kind of put this viral superstar in a much different kind of spotlight. So the official reason for the recall is something called microbial contamination. Sounds pretty technical, right? Basically, Thailand's Food and Drug Administration ran some tests and found that a whole batch of these inhalers just didn't meet safety standards. We're talking about way too much bacteria, yeast, and mold. Yikes.
And this wasn't some vague general warning either. The authorities were super specific. It's the Hongtai Formula 2 inhaler, production number 000332, made on December 9th, 2023. So one single batch is at the very center of this whole public health scare.
Okay, so to really get why this recall is such a big deal, you have to understand just how massive this little green bottle became. So let's rewind a bit. How did this go from a local Thai remedy to like a Hollywood-level accessory?
A huge part of its viral fame comes down to one person, Lisa from Blackpink. The second this Thai-born superstar was spotted with one, it instantly became a must-have item for her millions and millions of fans. That's the power of celebrity right there.
But it didn't stop there. Not even close. Next up, Thor himself. Chris Hemsworth was seen using one. And when an A-lister like that starts using something, it's officially on a whole different level of fame.
And to round it out, add pop superstar Jackson Wang to the list. So there you have it, this trifecta of massive celebrity sightings that just catapulted the Hongtai inhaler from the streets of Bangkok straight into the global spotlight.
This whole celebrity thing created a massive ripple effect on social media. Suddenly, tourists, influencers, everyone was posting about it on TikTok and Instagram. It went from being just a handy thing to have when you're traveling to a full-on status symbol. It literally became part of the must-buy Thailand travel checklist. Okay, so we get it. It's famous. But what is actually in this thing? And what's its origin story? Let's peel back the label for a second and look at the surprisingly humble beginnings of this viral product. The story of its founder, a guy named Tirpong Robwitham, they call him King, is actually incredible. He started out with pretty much nothing. Literally found an old herbal recipe in a newspaper and just spent years and years perfecting it based on what customers were saying. Fast forward to 2022, and his business was reportedly valued at $14 million. I mean, what a journey, from a simple idea to a global brand.
So what's the secret sauce? What gives it that signature scent? Well, it's a potent mix of natural herbs. You've got menthol for that cooling feeling, camphor to help with congestion, eucalyptus oil to kind of refresh your airways, and borneol, which is a big deal in traditional medicine. It's that specific combo that people find so refreshing and honestly, kind of captivating. But here's the thing you have to understand. This is way more than just some passing trend. In Thailand, these herbal inhalers are a genuine part of daily life. So let's dig into why that is.
So why are they so popular there? Well, for a lot of Thais, it's just a super practical tool. Think about it. It gives you this little moment of relief from the really intense air pollution in big cities like Bangkok. It helps with the crazy heat and humidity, and it even helps with everyday stuff like motion sickness. It's a quick fix for a lot of daily annoyances. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote I saw from a user on Reddit just nails it. They said, "I'm addicted to the inhaler because it relieves me from an all-day itchy nose due to a pollution allergy." See, for so many people, it's not a fad. It's a real necessity.
And that brings us right back to today. With a product that's so loved, both at home and all over the world, how is the company actually handling this massive public health crisis?
Okay, so Hongtai Herbal put out a public statement, and they laid out a really clear 4-step plan. First, they're doing a full recall of all 200,000 of those affected units. Second, they're working directly with the FDA to get that whole batch destroyed. And third, and this is super important for their future, they're upgrading their whole production process. They're even adding UV sterilization to make sure this can't happen again.
But you have to realize the company's promises are happening against the backdrop of some very serious legal trouble. In Thailand, if you produce a substandard herbal product, we're talking about the possibility of up to 2 years in prison and a fine of up to 200,000 baht. So their public apology and all these fixes,
It's not just about saving their reputation. It's about facing some pretty severe legal consequences. So when you step back, this is really a story about the whiplash of going viral. It's like the perfect storm, right? A small business suddenly has to scale up like crazy to meet global demand, and things can go wrong. It just shows how fast a beloved product can suddenly face a huge crisis of trust. And it kind of leaves us all with a big question, doesn't it? In this age of viral trends, how much do we really trust the hype? How much do we actually know about the stuff we see online and rush out to buy?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pong. And that is how we wrap up this story about the sudden challenge facing Thailand's most popular herbal inhaler. Thank you for following Suthichai Live English podcast. See you next time. Thank you.